Hi everybody and welcome to Josiah is Right. So I am back and we're here again to talk about Seattle. Specifically the Museum of Popular Culture. So MoPop, which is just awesome. It used to be EMP, the Experience Music Project, but then it was just sort of expanded in I think 2016 to be much more all-encompassing of all of popular culture. So before I begin all that, I want to talk about this. This is the City Pass. So you can get for about $90, I think, per person, per adult. It's a little bit less for a kid. She was free as she is under 2 years old. I think it's up to 4. Most of the attractions, the age varies on them, but it's up to 4. Is you get 5 attractions from a list of like 6 or 7. Some are like it's an either or kind of thing. But basically, you get a really, really good deal, and they even wanted to use one of Penny's pictures on the Space Needle. So Penny, you want to hold this for me? You want to hold this? So I will let Penny hold the City Pass because we used all 5 things. And our number 1 was, as we mentioned, the MoPop, the Museum of Popular Culture. It was amazing, a great time. I wish I had more time to spend there. Yeah, Penny liked it too. I really do wish we had more time to spend there. Unfortunately. Anyway. So before we begin properly, I want to share with you Penny on the Space Needle. So that is the glass floor. Penny was fearless, and you can actually see the MoPop Museum below her. That's why I wanted to show you. Also because it's cute and she's brave. There are adults who did not walk on it the way she did. You'll see here in a second. Again, there's a museum, and she actually ran. She did fall down a little bit, but she was... I think the moving floor makes it weirder than it is the fact that there's nothing below you. It's really the fact that it's moving. So here you can see some of the exterior. Actually, as I was filming this, a guy came up to me and asked me if I was streaming it, and I said, no, we post later. So he was actually live streaming his visit to the museum, and I plugged my channel on his live stream. So I didn't get his channel, though, so I hope he's out there somewhere, and I hope maybe someone found me through him. So here is the entrance, the Museum of Pop Culture. It gives you the hours, the basic info, and a nice neon sign there. And here are some exclusives. Part of the exhibit was the Marvel thing they had, which you'll see a lot of it later. But they had some Funko Pop Exclusives, the spinner to greet you in the inside, which is maybe the single coolest thing at the museum. There's some other cool stuff, specifically from Blade Runner, but the spinner was just awesome, and I'm glad I got it lit up, because I took some pictures and some video earlier where it was just kind of sitting there. It's not lit up all the time, but it does periodically light up, and here's another shot of it. You can see there again, this one, it's not lit up. This shot was actually taken before the other one, and again, just trying to get some more angles of it so you can see how awesome it truly is. So Penny here, checking out the map. This is in the little Wolfgang Puck bistro there. It's in the lobby of the place, and you can actually go there and eat without, getting yourself a pass to the museum. And then here's the first exhibit of the museum, the Sci-Fi Hall of Fame. Everything you see here is in pretty much the order we went. So you can see the Voight-Kampff machine, I think I'm saying it right, that from the film, and Philip K. Dick, and on, and it has a lot of really amazing things. The Hall of Fame is sort of the first thing that greets you, and perhaps the coolest, the Staff of Ra there. It was really cool to see it up close. I tried to get it nice and close for you guys while keeping Indy in the frame, and then some Guillermo del Toro stuff. George Lucas, the lightsaber, and Luke's severed hand, which is just an awesome feature. You can see it has on the wall, there's Jim Henson and all the different people in the Hall of Fame. Pretty cool to see. There's actually another board you'll see, which is a horizontal one, which I think was interactive, but I didn't sort of mess with it at all. But it was really cool to see in Legend of Zelda. That one just stuck out because it's not a person. So there's a lot of things in the Hall of Fame. Most of it is people, and there's some other things like that and more Philip K. Dick is represented by props from Blade Runner. That was Rachel's dress. Mork and Mindy, why not? And of course James Cameron, the Newt costume, which is just awesome to see that as the specific thing to represent him. That is just an excellent choice, I think. It's what made that movie special. It's a mom saving her child. Not technically her child, but still a mom saving a child because that motherly instinct. And as a parent now, I relate to that film and that in a deeper way, so it was really cool to see that. And literature is represented, but it was certainly heavy and more heavy on film. As you can see, Stanley Kubrick and television and things like that, the Hall of Fame in general, these things, it's kind of like, if you're going to show writing, it's just a typewriter, Isaac Asimov, right? Things like that, which are a little bit less interesting than seeing Dr. Zaius for Rod Serling. So here's that board I mentioned earlier where it shows you the different people in the Hall of Fame. Star Trek is one of those specific properties, and on and on and on. Just really cool to see. Like, it's a horizontal, you feel like you're in some kind of futuristic place. There's the guitar sculpture. This is, I believe, on the second floor up, And this is kind of getting more into that EMP stuff. So this used to be the Experience Music Project. And there's still some music things. You can hear Nirvana. So the Nirvana exhibit was something we got to go through. I didn't get any video of it. It was super crowded. Super, super packed. Apparently it's something that was there and gone and they brought it back. But it was really cool to experience. A big fan of their music, and obviously in Seattle, this is going to be huge. They actually also had a Pearl Jam exhibit, which just opened the weekend we were there, but we were there the day before it opened. You can see here Penny before the Super Mario board. That is actually a loading dock elevator. There's a guy back there waiting to go downstairs. And before us, we had to wait for a guy that was doing jumping pictures. So it's a little bit annoying because we're just trying to get our kid a picture. But anyway, it's still cool, and I understand. You want to do a jumping picture in front of the Mario. Here is the game exhibit, sponsored by Nintendo. This is sort of that central area they do like different things on that stage. That's the regular gift shop, and here you can see up, it shows you sort of where the other things, it's kind of subdivided by genre, and there's the Marvel gift shop. So this is pretty much all Marvel. I actually got a Thanos t-shirt. It's Josh Brolin Thanos that was exclusive, and it glows in the dark. Here you can see some of the fantasy stuff, some fantasy artwork, some Wizard of Oz props and things like that, which are really cool to see, because I think as a kid, that was probably the most significant movie in my life that wasn't Star Wars. When I really think about it, Wizard of Oz was just a huge part of my life. And there is our little one checking out the Tin Man. No, not the Tin Man, the Lion. Of course, the Lion. She would definitely connect more with the Lion than the Tin Man. Penny is an animal lover. And just more of the exhibit in the fantasy section, stuff from The Princess Bride, which is cool to see. I think in a bit there's also some swords and things from them. These are swords and weapons from Lord of the Rings. It's funny, things like Gimli's axe and the swords, they seem so much smaller in person. They have such a big presence on a screen, but it was really cool to see all of that in person, and just the connection to the movie, epic artwork, some fantasy paintings, and sort of a little closed-in room. That's what you see here. It was just a cool little space to go into. And then more of that fantasy painting. That dragon is awesome. And then some unexpected stuff like Highlander here. I like the Highlander. I appreciate the Highlander, but I was surprised to see it. As a series, you don't think of much the Highlander as you do other things. And here you can see more from the Highlander. Sean Connery's outfit. Ramirez, I think, was his character. He was supposed to be Spanish. Gimli's helmet. Again, it seems smaller, but he's a dwarf, right? But I guess it's... yeah, and here are the swords from Princess Bride, and it's just kind of a display that goes around, and it's kind of sort of scattered, the placement sometimes, it feels like. And there's George R.R. Martin talking about how Tolkien brought history to his work. And here is the scary part. There you see my reflection. These are the stairs down to the horror section. So forgive my lack of focus here, and in general, anytime there's not great focus, but this was actually kind of creepy. The music kind of gets to you. The faces here were kind of like not really legitimately scary. It was just kind of normal faces like screaming. But once you get in here into this body bag section, and you have the music and the lighting and the crowds, and I don't like crowds really personally. There's a zombie side, so it got to me. We actually went through here without Penny, because we weren't sure if is it legitimately scary or not. But then we did bring back Penny, so you actually might see some clips of her a bit later. This is actually from my solo jaunt through as I'm going through the zombie stuff right here, which is among my favorites. As a kid, I knew zombie films were made in Pittsburgh, so I could actually watch them knowing they were movies and less scary. One of the coolest things here is the alien. And again, there's a lot of overlap. So horror, sci-fi, things like that. Where do you place things? In the sci-fi section, there was stuff from Aliens, and here you see the specific Alien, which is truly a horror movie, but it's also sci-fi. So you could place things different places. In a little bit, you'll see a face hugger, but this was really pretty amazing to see the alien costume. I think maybe my single favorite thing. I'll probably say that again at some point, but I don't know for sure. There's the critter, and Freddy, which I remember hearing, and you can see the flickering light. They do that a lot on this stuff, so it impacts your video. That's the way the light, it to the eye, you do not notice it. You see the face hugger here, you don't notice that flicker, but when you use a camera or any kind of recording device, you're getting that flicker. So I guess they don't want people on YouTube to post this stuff without it being slightly annoying and disoriented to look at. I'm not sure why, because they don't do it all the time with the lighting, and certain exhibits don't have that kind of lighting on it, but some do. And I don't understand the choice and why, because it's really just promotion for what you're doing, and it's not like people aren't going to go because they see this video. The reason I'm posting this video is I strongly encourage you to go. So here we have Penny in the horror exhibit. Here we have the Hallowed Rome, which is another one of those interactive exhibits. They had a sound room and things like that. Again, kind of that stuff harkens to the experience, part of the Experience Music Project that this used to be, but it was just a cool place to check out. We didn't really get to interact with it. We just kind of moved on because we were basically about to go here, which you see the Marvel exhibit. And here you see the Marvel intro movie. We didn't actually stay for the whole thing just because we were in the back and we had Penny very impatiently not in her stroller. So one challenge we had in this part was Penny's a little kid and she's good in the stroller. She likes to look things and see things, but once she's out of that stroller, she's a kid and she wants to run. So she kind of wanted to take off, and you'll see a couple clips of her doing that. So we didn't get to as extensively go through this as we would have liked because we're kind of rushed, but they don't allow strollers because it's kind of more popular and more in demand and it gets crowded. The video was really cool, really well done. It's the typical Marvel story. If you know anything about Marvel Comics, if you follow it, you know any tiny portion of their history, you will not be surprised by this video. But it's really well produced and really bright and really pops and kind of gives you all the characters. We just kind of bailed on it at that point. I'm sure the history goes much more than that. And again, you can see that flickering, but it was amazing to see this original artwork that's, you know, nearing 100 years old now for like things like this comic book. That's closer to 100 years old than it was. And so there's Penny checking out the thing, and we did a little photo shoot with her where she was willing to hang out with the thing, but of course on Penny terms. We wanted to get it in a nice cute pose picture, but she did what she wanted. There's Spidey stopping by, and here's Penny acting as the thing's little, maybe his little dog or pet of some kind, but that was what we got for a picture, so it's kind of adorable. You see the Black Panther here. There's a lot of these photo ops set up, and here you can see sort of the concept art and stuff, and then how it's executed, which is a cool display. And on the opposite that was the costumes. There you see the Black Panther and Captain America. Penny enjoying the Black Panther costumes. For whatever reason, she gravitated toward those ones. And costumes in general, she really seemed to like a lot of the costumes. I don't know what it is or why. Like when we've gone to the Jim Henson exhibit and things like that, she definitely gravitated towards puppets because she knows what those are. Maybe it's something similar with a costume. She knows, hey, that's something a person wears. You can see the Amazing Fantasy number 15. That, to me, this is a highlight to just see that book in person. The most important comic book in my life is still Amazing Fantasy 15, even though, you know, it was published 30 years before I ever read it, probably, and 20 years before I was born. But still, there's Spider-Man for another photo op. This was my favorite. We didn't get a picture. Penny kind of was pointing at it, but we didn't get a good picture there. You can see the Homecoming costumes, or that homemade one. And you can see some of the other things here. It's mostly the modern Marvel movies, but then you can see some throwbacks here. There was some stuff to the Sony Marvel movies, the quote good ones, not the Andrew Garfield ones. And I don't hate them. Those ones are certainly not as good. But we're talking about the Tobey Maguire, the Sam Raimi ones, those ones. More artwork. You can see Thor and Hela there. And more, the walls, I wish I got a better shot of this. It's just the walls really pop with these great images. And these are the things that I'm really surprised that had that flickering light. I kind of sometimes get it with some of the things that, the artifact type things, but with I don't understand it with those. Those are, to me, that's a big photo op. You have the big Hulk and a thing and had that flickering light. I don't understand why. I don't know if someone would repurpose it for evil purposes. I don't know. Here is the cover for Giant Size X-Men number 1. Amazing to see some more historic covers there. And a less than historic cover, but one that I actually have this comic from Executioner's Song from that X-Men issue with the apocalypse sort of looming over everyone. I was excited to see that, and you can see Doctor Strange and the sort of mystical side of things and the walls here. This was the coolest part in terms of what was going on in the walls, and the images were constantly moving and brought the comic books to life while merging it with the costumes and things. And there's some of the horror stuff. We're getting into the gritty stuff here with Daredevil and things like that. It's funny, it's basically divided by Netflix, movie, things like that, but you can see the Daredevil costume from Netflix and more Daredevil artwork posted up there. It's just amazing to see these. I make comic book collages because I love the artwork and love the stories they're in. It's just cool to see them blown up to such a huge scale, and you can see the drama in the art and the storytelling. It's just so powerful. This is kind of like an exiting newsstand type of thing. You'll see some trading cards. I had a lot of these trading cards as a kid. Most of those are from the Masterwork series. And here you can see where you could vote. That was my vote for Spider-Man. Who was your favorite character? And Daredevil was Judy's pick, as you'll see in just a second here. She is about to vote for Daredevil. And Spider-Man was running away with it. Daredevil, I think, was ranked 19th on that list as we looked. The Superman, oh my gosh, way off. The Captain America costume from the 1970s, from the terrible TV movies, starring Red Brown, I think. And here you can see the Sci-Fi section. This was my favorite part of anything, the science fiction section. However, my battery died, or actually my battery didn't die. My memory ran out, and I wasn't able to fix it because my battery died, so I wasn't able to back everything up beforehand. So you see here just a few clips. Greedo. There was a wall of blasters and guns from different sci-fi that I didn't get. Some more lightsabers, unfortunately, but this was the best section. This is why you got to go back, so you can see all of the sci-fi section that I didn't get. And there's plenty that I did not get. Jimi Hendrix Experience, on and on and on. There's things that I did not show you guys. Part of the last few things here, you can see a Jawa. I wish its eyes lit up. That kind of bothered me, but I'm not going to be nitpicky about it. But coming up in a second here, you will see the monsters, the aliens from Mars Attacks, and they actually, Tim Burton was originally going to do, like, you know, stop motion. However, he ended up using CGI, but that's the original they were going to use. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the MoPop. I wish I got the footage of the sci-fi part and was able to really enjoy Marvel. She kind of lost it during Marvel. That was the only part. She wasn't in the stroller. When she's in the stroller, she likes to just sit and look. But when she's out of the stroller, she's a kid and she likes to run, 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 run. So anyway, it was still a lot of fun. She had a great time. I had a great time. Judy had a great time. So that is it. That is our experience at the MoPop. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you guys get to go check it out. It was great. I hope to go back whenever we can enjoy it even more thoroughly. And, you know, I was taking a lot of videos, so I could just kind of like walk and read every single time. I'm that kind of person. So it was really great fun. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will talk to you later. Say bye, Penny. Bye, guys.